guys, so today I'm gonna go watch the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the new Hunger Games movie. I've read the book already, but I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm gonna watch it today, and I'll give you guys like a review of what I thought it like the book versus the movie. So spoilers ahead. It was so good. Let's get into the details of it, shall we? So first off, I think that it was such a great movie, and spoilers ahead, if you've read the book, you know basically the gist of it. Lucy Gray is the tribute aligned to future President Coriolanus Snow in the 10th annual Hunger Games. And so basically, they sort of fall in love, and she wins the Hunger Games with his help. And honestly, I think the movie portrayed this in a gist amazingly, but there are some things that were left out, such as some songs, and I feel like... Alright, so basically it's split into 3 parts. Part 1 is the mentor, part 2 is the prize, part 3 is the peacekeeper. And part 1 is basically like, if you read the Hunger Games, it's like the setting up for the actual games. Part 2 is when the actual games are happening, and part 3 is an aftermath of the games, which we don't really get in the other books in the same book. So basically, part one I think was probably my least favorite part of the movie, since it was so rushed, and I felt they had to get like a lot of it in, so they missed a couple details. Some of the most notable details are some songs and some funerals, and they didn't really go into detail like in the movies before about the mutts, if you know what those are. They're the mutations that in this one that Dr. Gall makes, who is like, she's sort of the main bad guy who works for the Capitol, but in all, amazing. Part 2 was probably my favorite because it had the most action and the most raw emotion. Part 3, heart-wrenching. Oh my gosh, so good. And, alright. I guess we should get, Alright, what else is there? Another thing that they sort of left out was the significance of the, so in the book, there's this really significant, like, compact powder thing that is important to our main character, Coriolanus Snow, and it doesn't really show, it did not leave it out, but in the book, it was much more significant, and it was mentioned many more times. I'm glad they included it in the movie, and also, honestly, these are just, like, petty little things, and this is probably, like, one of my favorite my favorite movie, because it was so good. And the book, amazing. If you're gonna do this, you should probably read the book first. Yeah, and I love the way it ended. Loved the soundtrack. All of the songs are great. That's why I'm kind of sad that they left out some songs. And the ending, oh my gosh, it was so good. I loved the part of, it doesn't really show it as well as the book, because like my mom watched it and she hasn't read the book. And so basically she was like saying like, oh, it like drove him to madness. But the thing is, my sister pointed this out, and it's really like good and really like eye-opening. It's not a slow descent of him into madness. It's him always being crazy and mad, and just him testing out how much he can get away with, you know? Alright, I think we should probably get into the characters next. The characters. So let's talk about my favorite characters. I loved Sejanus. They call him Sejanus in the movie, which that was kind of weird because Sejanus just sounds much more smooth. Coriolanus, kill that Mo. Ugh. And Lucy Gray, such an amazing character. Rachel Zegler like slayed the boots down with that performance. Bars are outranked. Oh, and I loved Tigress. I might have said that before. Tigress is Coriolanus is cousin. Yeah, she's the best. Her, and also she's so pretty. Side note. And yeah, it was just such a good movie. I love the action sequences. I really like how when I was reading the book, I pictured a bunch of stuff, and I was like, this is exactly how I pictured it in the book. And I loved the, wait, we're talking about the characters. Yeah, it's just such a good movie in general. So one thing that I loved about the ending of the book/movie is that when in the end, you never really know if Lucy Gray survives or not, because she may have been killed by Coriolanus when he's really driven to anger and utter madness. But the thing is, he also might be, she might still be alive. She might have escaped she might have escaped into the trees. And yeah, it's just so good. I love how the ending's up for interpretation, and it really makes you think. It's, oh my gosh. And how it, oh my gosh, I love how it sets up. It sort of tries to make you like Snow, but not as much. You're for the first two parts, you're oh, Snow's kind of understandable, but in the third part, it's hate him, get him out of here. Love the setup to the actual Hunger Games series with Katniss and stuff itself. I love the little references and how yeah, and also I love how it was shown oh, the reason why he hates Katniss so much is because Katniss reminds him of Lucy Gray, who he thinks he killed, and also she introduced him to the plant Katniss. The songs that she sings, the Mockingjays, the same bow that she does. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't think any dystopian novel will actually be better than The Hunger Games. Alright, let's get to the conclusion. Alright, so in the end, let me back up. So in the end, really great movie, really great ending. Honestly, I don't think no dystopian is probably ever gonna compare to The Hunger Games, because it's so good. But the thing is, there's also a really sad factor about it. First of all, the stories are super sad, and it makes you really emotional, and it really says a lot about society and different types of governing systems. Also, one thing that I found really funny is in this dystopian world, it's just Panem is just America, and in the dystopian world, America is the only one who's oh, let's enforce the Hunger Games and send these children to their deaths to fight against each other. It's just America. And yeah, the other really sad thing about it is that this is probably going to be the last Hunger Games thing that we see, which, oh my gosh, it's just so sad, because now there's nothing else that will come from the Hunger Games franchise, probably, unless we get some in-between stuff, or yeah, but alright, it was really great, loved it a lot. Alright, thanks for watching my consensus and thoughts on this. Love you guys, bye.